Well, that right there is not exactly what you want to happen. I don't even know.
How long ago? How long has it been?
A group of fishermen were out on the water when one of them lingered in the shallows, still focused on casting. He mentioned being too drained to walk back to the boat. Then everything changed. They suddenly noticed an alligator gliding straight toward him. That alone pushed him to move fast, reaching the boat in time. It was easily the most terrifying. A man headed to a beach in Florida to fish when he stumbled onto something unusual.
Hey, big storm last night, Destin, Florida. These sharks' teeth are everywhere. Look, there's one. There's another one too. They're everywhere, man. Everywhere.
After a heavy storm hit Destin the night before, shark teeth were scattered everywhere. He pointed out one piece after another, amazed at the sheer amount. Some believe the teeth could be ancient remains, possibly stirred up by the storm's power from a megalodon. Others think they might belong to some massive creature still roaming the ocean. This has sparked renewed theories that the megalodon might still exist. So what exactly did he uncover that day? Two fishermen were recording their work trip when everything took a dangerous turn. A shark burst out of the ocean, launching straight upward.
Whoa! Holy crap! It dove right out of the water!
You see that?
Man!
Only a thin sheet of steel stood between one of them and the predator's impact. In that moment, he realized just how exposed he truly was. The moment showed how brutal the open ocean could be. A quiet paddleboarding outing on Lake Pleasant in Arizona turned dangerous when a sudden dust storm rolled in. The sky dimmed, winds became violent, and visibility vanished. The girls dialed 911 as panic set in. The lake is known for claiming lives. They never shared updates on how they escaped, but they clearly survived. The footage eventually surfaced on TikTok after the harrowing storm left them shaken on the unpredictable desert lake that. On July 20th, 2025, Bowley left for a fishing trip in northern Queensland. His morning started calmly, just another routine outing on the water, until everything went wrong.
I just got the hook in my thumb really bad. Like, really bad.
A hook drove straight through his thumb, leaving him in intense pain and shock. The injury was severe.
Look at that. That's a doozy. Far out. Well, that's probably my day ruined. Well, that right there is not exactly what you want to happen. I don't even know what to do, man. I'm 100 k's by out. It's nearly gone through my whole thumb. Like, it's very bad.
Nearly punching all the way through, and he was stranded far offshore with no one nearby to assist. Realizing he couldn't continue, he turned back toward land, hoping to find help before the situation worsened. Fortunately, he encountered someone who could assist and managed to get the hook removed safely. A few days later, Bowley returned to the water. Two men were out fishing when one of them noticed what looked like a person standing on the surface of the water. As he moved in closer, he realized it was another fisherman balancing on an overturned boat.
Only you were on it? How long ago did you capsize? How long ago? How long has it been?
Yesterday.
Oh wow.
I'm fishing. And the water comes to the bottom.
You want water?
Can you take me in the minute?
No. Man, we get Coast Guard.
Got a water for you here.
Okay.
You don't want it?
Okay.
You alright?
It was just you on the vessel?
Yeah, only me.
Man, you're 100 miles from Bimini.
Oh.
This is South Florida.
You're off Boynton Beach or Boca right now.
No one help me. Everyone passed me.
Coast Guard's coming. You want a water?
Yo. Huh?
You want a water? Okay.
He was the only one aboard when it flipped. The vessel had rolled earlier, water flooding through the back and pulling it down. When asked how long he had been there, he indicated it had happened the day before. He explained he had been fishing when water started rushing in through the rear. The men offered him water and kept checking on him while keeping some distance. He said he had been alone on the vessel. They informed him he was drifting roughly 100 miles from Bimini and now deep in South Florida waters, far off from where he should have been. The Coast Guard was already on the way. His unclear responses made the situation feel odd, as though he wasn't sharing the full truth. Experienced sailors often warn that encounters like this can carry hidden risks. The two handled it properly, offering assistance but avoiding bringing a stranger on board, knowing how quickly a situation at sea can turn dangerous. Tate from the channel Fishing with Tate was recording a normal fishing vlog when everything suddenly shifted.
Yeah, are you good? Are y'all good? Do y'all know what's going on? I heard there was a shooter over there. Where at? Yeah, y'all need to know.
While out on the lake, he received a call warning him about a potentially dangerous situation nearby. Moments later, gunshots rang out from the woods surrounding the water.
Gunfire, brother.
Realizing how serious things were, he and his friend decided to leave immediately.
Reference, right here's the map of where we are right now. The gunshots literally could have been from an active shooter. No cap, not even kidding. It's really dangerous that we're even out here right now. The guy's supposedly in the woods right now. If you can see, there's woods everywhere. So I'm not just trying to build this up. It's pretty sketchy.
To show viewers their position, he pulled up a map of the area, explaining that the sounds could easily have come from an active shooter. It wasn't an exaggeration. The situation was genuinely dangerous, especially with the suspect possibly hiding somewhere in the tree line. Thick forest covered the entire area, making it impossible to know where the shooter might have been. He emphasized that he wasn't trying to dramatize the moment. The entire situation felt genuinely unsettling, and staying there any longer would have been a real risk. These friends were enjoying a relaxed day of fishing when things took a turn.
Be in White Lady or somewhere on Mono Beach. I'd be in
During a cast, the hook shot directly into his buddy. A lure meant for catching fish ended up snagging human skin instead. Luckily, the injury wasn't as serious as it looked. Still, it's a reminder to stay careful while fishing. A fisherman moved toward a bridge when he noticed another boat nearby. A man was lying there asleep, or at least that's what it appeared to be. He was stretched out, looking completely relaxed. He must have been exhausted to drift off in that spot. Would you have checked on him or let him rest? Jazz, an angler who regularly records his fishing outings, returned to the Yarra River, the same place where a tree had once crashed dangerously close to him. This time, the fish weren't cooperating, so he moved to another spot, and that's when things changed.
Snake. Where did he go? He's gone, man. There he is. He's underwater. There he is. Tiger. I could hear him coming down the hill. I just couldn't get away because I was sliding down the hill. He flared up. He's right in that middle bit of shade there. He was sitting right where my rods are, and I slipped on the grass and I almost fell on top of him because I couldn't stop.
He heard it coming down the hill but couldn't get away fast enough because he was sliding. The snake raised its body in a defensive posture, settling in the patch of shade right where he had placed his rods. While trying to reposition himself, he slipped on the grass and nearly fell directly onto the snake. In such a remote area, getting medical help would have been nearly impossible. The close call left him shaken as he realized just how narrowly he had avoided what could have been a fatal encounter. In November 2012, Jose Salvador Alvarenga, a 36-year-old fisherman from El Salvador, set out on a short shark fishing trip off Mexico's coast. A violent storm struck, destroying their equipment and leaving him and his crewmate, 22-year-old Ezequiel Cordoba, drifting helplessly.
Padre Señor bendito, digo yo, que me volcó la lancha. Al segundo tumbo me tiré. Ya, la lancha, yo andaba nadando. Yo me alejaba de la lancha porque no me volteaba. La lancha se la lleva. Y me tiré nadando. Llegando a tierra, ya no pude caminar.
With no supplies left, they survived by catching fish, turtles, and birds, and by drinking rainwater, turtle blood, and even their own urine. When food was scarce, Alvarenga chewed his fingernails to ease hunger. After 10 weeks, Cordoba died from illness and starvation, leaving Alvarenga alone. He continued drifting for over 14 months, carried roughly 6,500 miles across the Pacific. Passing ships never noticed him. On January 30th, 2014, he finally reached Ibn Atoll in the Marshall Islands, where locals found and rescued him. His ordeal has inspired many and raised questions, but it remains one of the most extraordinary survival stories ever recorded. On the Trinity River, YouTuber Blue Gabe set out hoping to catch catfish, but ended up hooking something far larger than he expected.
There she goes.
There you go. Come on over there.
Is it? Oh, that's the biggest gar. Grab that GoPro. Okay.
Grab that GoPro. This is the biggest alligator gar I've ever seen.
As he worked the rod, he realized he had connected with the biggest alligator gar he had ever encountered. The rod bent under the immense pressure, and the fight dragged on, forcing him to push his strength to the limit. The mud along the bank sucked him in up to his knees as he tried to gain better footing, underscoring how massive the fish truly was.
No! Look at me. I'm in the mud up to my knees. Oh my goodness. It's a big one. This is a big one. Look at his old nose. This is a 100+ pound fish. CeeLo.
See you, baby.
CeeLo. I'm actually nervous with this fish.
You need some help, brother?
No?
You got her good. She's not going nowhere.
Yeah, but they'll hit you in. Oh my gosh. They will hit you in the head. There's no way I'm gonna be able to pick this fish up. My footstep. Look at this. Giant. No way. It's bigger than me.
Its worn, aged snout made it clear this was an old and exceptionally large gar, easily weighing well over 100 pounds. The sheer size of the creature made him nervous, knowing how violently these fish can thrash and how dangerous a strike could be. When he finally pulled it in close, he realized lifting it would be nearly impossible. The fish was enormous, bigger than he had anticipated, and seeing it up close only highlighted its prehistoric appearance. After an exhausting battle, the giant gar finally surfaced, revealing its full size. These ancient fish can grow beyond 8 feet and exceed 300 pounds, earning a reputation as living fossils with a lineage dating back more than 100 million years. Honoring the river and the creature, Gabe released the massive gar back into the depths. In December 2002, kayaker Curtis May and his friends took on the Five Kings waterfalls in Chiapas, Mexico.
I'm not dead.
After completing the third drop, Curtis drifted off his intended line and was dragged behind the falls, becoming trapped in the pounding water for 75 minutes. Every attempt he made to push himself free failed as the force of the current kept him pinned. His team worked desperately to reach him. Wesley forced his way through a tight opening behind the falls, while Isaac pulled from the outside using a rope. Coordinating their efforts as the water roared around them. The situation was chaotic, with both rescuers pushing themselves to their limits to get close enough to help. After repeated attempts and their combined strength, Curtis finally managed to break free from the waterfall's grip. He emerged exhausted but alive, shaken from the ordeal, but able to stand with the support of his friends. The incident proved how extreme conditions on the water can become, and how vital experience, teamwork, and calm decision-making are in dangerous situations. Without the coordinated effort of his crew, the outcome could have been very different. During that same period in the waters of western Antarctica, a team of researchers from the University of Virginia identified a previously unknown predator. When the ROV's light struck it, the creature measured about half a meter in length, its body nearly transparent. Its jaws were filled with hundreds of tiny teeth that looked almost like glass. This species, called Acrothodus gouldi, the Antarctic dragonfish, survives in absolute darkness where temperatures stay below freezing. Its tissues hold specialized enzymes that stop its blood from freezing, and its clear teeth reflect virtually no light, letting it stalk prey unseen. It shows that even in Earth's most punishing places, nature still shapes flawless hunters, and it raises how many others remain unseen below in the deep dark ocean today still. In Japan's Suruga Bay, marine researchers captured video that startled people worldwide. They lowered a steel cage loaded with bait more than a mile down to monitor small sharks, but instead a huge dark form emerged and filled the entire view. The cage, over 30 feet across, suddenly seemed tiny as the massive creature glided by. Its scale surpassed even the whale shark, the largest documented fish on Earth. The recording ended in silence, with only the metallic vibration of the cage shaking in the deep. Specialists had a single guess. It might be a surviving Megalodon, an ancient predator believed to have vanished 3 million years ago. But if that is accurate, how could something so immense remain alive for so long without ever being noticed by humans? And then from the frigid waters of the Black Sea came another finding that stunned the internet. A Russian diver named Irina Volva recorded footage believed by many to show an ancient marine reptile, the plesiosaur. In the clip, she moves beside a massive creature with a long neck and wide flippers, drifting slowly through the hazy water. Scientists quickly began debating how a species thought to have disappeared more than 65 million years ago could still be alive today. Some argued it was genuine evidence of a prehistoric survivor, while others insisted it was advanced cheap. But if the footage wasn't fabricated, what else might have remained hidden beneath the Black Sea for countless years? Yet even that discovery was mild compared to what followed creatures straight from legend appearing on camera, edging closer to humans than anyone believed possible. The first clip is said to have been recorded by a research crew operating near McMurdo Station, where temperatures can fall to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. While drilling through the ice to obtain deep water samples, their steel hook suddenly caught on something unusually heavy, and when they hoisted it upward, the entire group went silent in shock. A gray, frozen body more than 6 feet long slowly rose from the ice. Its head was disproportionately large, its mouth hanging open to expose rows of teeth resembling those of a shark, and its arms ended in long, curved claws that looked like corroded metal. Some even reported hearing a horrifying cry, as though it was fighting against the researchers. It might have been an ancient predator that once lived in the deep sea, related to the marine reptile known as the mosasaur, or possibly a form of evolution unknown to science. Others, however, believed it was manufactured, the result of a hidden experiment buried for decades. And what unsettled everyone the most was this: after that day, its fate became a mystery. Did they truly awaken something that was never meant to exist beneath the Antarctic ice? When Antarctic divers first came across this fish, they believed their eyes were deceiving them. Its body looked transparent, its organs gleaming under their lights, yet there was no red hue, no visible vessels, and no normal circulation. This is the ice fish, the only vertebrate on Earth lacking hemoglobin, the protein that gives blood its color and carries oxygen. Instead, its body holds clear plasma, allowing oxygen to pass directly through its skin and water near freezing, where ordinary blood would turn solid. The ice fish endures because its plasma stays liquid and its body temperature matches the surrounding ocean. It stands as a contradiction to biology: no blood, no pigment, no protective enzymes, yet it survives and reproduces. That is why researchers call it Antarctica's paradox, a creature that challenges evolutionary limits. Before you is an 8-limbed creature creeping slowly along the ocean floor, yet its legs stretch nearly 1.5 feet, while its body is no larger than a small coin. This is the Antarctic sea spider, an oversized marine arthropod that grows almost 10 times bigger than its relatives in warmer regions. Researchers have confirmed that in near-freezing habitats, metabolic rates drop sharply, allowing oxygen to move through the body more effectively, which is what enables the spider to reach such enormous proportions. It moves slowly, has very little red pigment, and spends most of its life isolated beneath the ice. Its unsettling appearance has earned it the title living fossil, evidence that Antarctica still shelters creatures from ages long before humans existed. Now we move to Canada, where a traveler unintentionally recorded what he described as a nightmare beneath the glass-clear waters of Okanagan Lake. The surface looked calm until sudden, forceful ripples began to rise. When he zoomed in, he distinctly noticed a long, shadowy shape coiling below the water. Only a small section broke the surface, but it was enough to unsettle anyone watching. It appeared to stretch at least 20 feet in length. No one knows whether it was a fish, a serpent, or something entirely different. But on that day, a quiet Canadian lake became the focus of a mystery that remains unresolved. Could this be evidence of Ogopogo, the legendary lake creature spoken of in local lore for generations? This is the reason people tremble when they imagine the deep ocean. On June 7, 2018, a group of researchers lowered a camera into the Java Trench more than 800 feet beneath the surface, far beyond the reach of sunlight. At first, there was only darkness and drifting particles. Then 2 dim lights appeared, eyes belonging to something massive. As the camera refocused, its outline became visible, a long, serpentine head with a silhouette resembling a dragon, slowly gliding past the lens. It didn't charge, and it didn't retreat. It simply stared into the camera for a moment before slipping back into the void. Since then, no one has attempted to dive in that area again, and people can't help wondering if that creature was real. Was it alone? How many more like it could still be lurking in the unexplored deep? Deep in the darkness, more than 3,000 feet beneath the Antarctic ice, the team's camera recorded something almost unreal. A pale pink form drifted in open water shaped like a massive blossom, but each petal began to move. Not 8, not 10, but 20 long, flexible limbs waving on their own as if each one had independent control. This organism is called the strawberry feather star. In slow motion, fine hair-like structures can be seen along every arm, designed to catch microscopic particles drifting through the water, an adaptation so advanced it resembles a biological machine. It moves with smooth rotation through the blackness, reacting to the faint glow of the camera as though it were watching the human's back. No one understands how such a delicate creature survives where normal cells would burst instantly from the extreme cold. And for that reason, the strawberry feather star is often described as the most alien-looking organism ever discovered on Earth. Next, a strange radar reading emerged in the Atlantic Ocean, showing a massive form moving slowly but consistently along the sea floor. At first, specialists believed it was simply an oversized shark, until a dorsal fin rose above the surface, standing tall, like a sail. As the research vessel neared, the gigantic creature didn't retreat. It glided silently by, almost as if aware it was being observed. No one can say with certainty whether it was a surviving megalodon or an unknown species, but one thing remains clear: something is still traveling in the deep below. And if you believe the story stops there, just wait until you hear about the next clip. Robert Harris, a hobbyist kayaker from Louisiana, unintentionally filmed something he claimed looked unlike any known creature on the planet. In the footage, a huge pale form lies completely still just beneath the smooth surface of the water. Instead of eyes, it has swollen folds of skin, and the most unsettling detail is that it doesn't respond even as his kayak drifts closer. Robert posted the recording to YouTube, but only hours later the entire upload vanished without explanation. Even so, it continued circulating online, with many convinced he had captured evidence of the Ningen, a half-human, half-aquatic figure from Antarctic tales. Some argued it was a classified organism monitored by the military, while others insisted it was a result of a rapidly changing ocean. But if it were merely a misunderstanding, why was the video taken down so quickly? While examining the strawberry feather star, researchers found a related species with a startling trait: it could move. These organisms, part of Promochocrinus kerguelensis, suddenly curl their long root-like arms when exposed to light and push off the seafloor, gliding away with coordinated limb movements. The finding shocked researchers, since starfish relatives are normally immobile. Yet here, in Antarctica's extreme environment, they've evolved the ability to move like higher animals. It raises an unsettling question. Are these creatures changing, breaking from their fixed form, and becoming a new kind of life beneath the ice? At nearly 1,000 meters below the surface, under crushing pressure and near freezing water, a slow purple creature drifted in front of the camera. Its body was smooth, lacking spines, an ink sac, or any recognizable defense. This was Bathypelagica profunda, an octopus often described as an unfinished stage of evolution. It doesn't release ink, doesn't camouflage, and doesn't attack. It simply floats in silence, its heartbeat barely noticeable. Even when exposed to light, it doesn't retreat, instead turning gently as if examining the viewer. Researchers believe it may descend from an ancient lineage of now extinct octopuses. What astonishes them is that in an environment with pressure hundreds of times stronger than at the surface, it survives with almost no defense at all, a creature living solely through adaptation. A reminder that sometimes, quiet endurance is the ultimate form of survival. You're viewing footage that left audiences completely bewildered. The creature shown in the clip seemed like some kind of alien organism breathing on its own. A man was recorded prodding a quivering jelly-like mass resting on the rocky shore. It twitched glossy and damp, reacting faintly to his touch. But the truth quickly surfaced. It wasn't a monster at all. It was bull kelp from New Zealand, scientifically named Durvallia, Antarctica. This enormous seaweed can form massive clusters and endure even the most powerful waves. Thanks to its honeycomb structure, the man in the clip was Maori, a native of the area whose people have relied on this kelp for generations to wrap food and create tools. A disturbing sight, yet the perfect reminder that not everything that appears monstrous truly is one in the natural world around us today. Things took a darker turn when a viral clip claimed that the Megalodon, the ocean's most terrifying predator, had truly returned. In the recording, a gigantic creature slams into a pier, biting down with such force that it sends ripples shaking across the entire surface of the water. Enormous fins rise and twist through the waves, leaving viewers stunned. According to the uploader, that region had never reported a shark encounter before, making the footage even more alarming. He believed it was the legendary Megalodon, the apex predator that ruled the deep millions of years in the past. But the longer people watched, the more strange details appeared. The water looked far too shallow, barely reaching the filmer's knees, and the exact location was never confirmed. Could this be real evidence of a prehistoric giant's return, or simply an elaborate hoax that fooled the entire world? On December 2, 2024, in western Antarctica, the Polar Scan expedition recorded a moment that sent chills around the world. At more than 138 feet beneath the ice, a camera placed inside a frozen cavity captured a massive creature slowly crawling out of the icy wall. At first, it looked like a block of limestone, until 8 pale legs began to move, cracking the ice with sharp echoes. Its body measured nearly 6.5 feet long, with legs stretching more than 15 feet. A thick shell shimmered with a faint blue tint, and its deep black eyes reflected the camera's light like glass. It resembled an Antarctic sea spider, but nearly 10 times the size. Some researchers believe it may be the evolutionary descendant of an ancient arthropod that lived millions of years ago, back when Antarctica was a warm rainforest. But what truly terrified the team was that the creature wasn't frozen. It was alive, crawling out of its icy chamber. Do you think the beings beneath the ice might actually be waking up? The deep ocean never stops leaving us in awe. On April 25, 2012, an offshore oil platform captured unbelievable footage, a huge silk-like membrane drifting through the darkness lined with pale veins inside. At first, everyone assumed it was a massive plastic sheet until the entire structure began to move. After analysis, specialists confirmed it was Deepstaria enigmatica. One of the largest and rarest invertebrates on Earth, it resembled a ghostly veil slowly pulsing in the shadows thousands of feet below. Thanks to modern deep-sea cameras, this species was finally documented, clearly, a chilling reminder that even in our advanced era, the ocean remains the last true frontier of mystery. And this is one of the most terrifying creatures ever documented by divers. A Mexican diver who specialized in deep-sea filming encountered something he initially assumed was a sea snake until he saw its mouth. It had hundreds of needle-sharp teeth arranged in several inward curving rows like a biological trap. It was actually a frilled shark, a living fossil that has existed for more than 80 million years. Its body was long, dark, and eel-like, moving with smooth, snake-like motions, causing many to mistake it for some kind of hybrid species. Seeing it up close, people quickly realized that the things we call nightmares are sometimes simply real animals, still surviving quietly in the depths, where humans rarely dare to venture. But if you believe prehistoric creatures don't appear only in remote locations, take a look at this from a helicopter scanning the shoreline of San Francisco. A cameraman accidentally filmed a huge figure moving under the water. At first they assumed it was an alligator, but once they zoomed in, everyone was shocked. The creature showed a long torso, 4 flippers, and an arched neck resembling a plesiosaur. If that's accurate, what would it mean for modern biology? Could a species thought to have vanished 65 million years ago still be surviving quietly beneath the ocean right beside California's coast today? No one expected a calm river in Malaysia to become the center of one of the most startling videos of 2021. While rowing along the Pahang River, a group of fishermen spotted unusual ripples ahead, assuming it was simply a large fish. But as they moved closer, what rose to the surface left them stunned. A long, streamlined creature shot forward so fast the camera struggled to follow it. It wasn't a fish and it wasn't a snake. One man noted in fear. In the chaos, the boat operator dropped his phone into the river, nearly losing the recording forever. And then as the probe continued its descent nearly 9,000 feet below the surface, the camera recorded something no one expected. On the cold, dark ocean floor, dozens of pale pink creatures were crawling slowly, almost as if they were walking on the moon. They had soft, jelly-like bodies, many limbs, and at times ballooned upward like drifting air sacs. These were sea pigs, unusual deep-sea cucumbers found only in polar waters. What surprised scientists wasn't their appearance, but their survival. Sea pigs feed on decaying material buried in the freezing mud. Areas where almost no oxygen remains, they draw seawater through their skin to extract what little oxygen exists and can endure pressures more than 300 times higher than at the surface beneath the silent Antarctic ice. These pigs of the sea live as the ocean's quiet scavengers, a vivid reminder that life still persists. In the place humanity considers the end of the world, now brace yourself for a nightmare. Now let's shift to something entirely outside what science can explain. On July 21, 2015, photographer Thomas Brown recorded footage that many believe depicts a creature from another age. While filming near the Roseville Bridge in Sydney, he saw the water suddenly start to churn. A huge distorted head rose from the surface. It wasn't a whale and it wasn't a shark. The form resembled a sea serpent, but far larger than anything recognized at first. Thomas assumed it was only a decaying fish until it shifted in a flash. The creature slipped back into the depths, leaving behind swirling waves several feet wide. Many believe it was evidence of a species never before documented beneath Australian waters, but the real question remains: if it truly exists, how many more could be waiting out there? Imagine being alone on the ocean at night with nothing but a flashlight and the sound of waves when something suddenly shows itself in the village of Larantuka, Indonesia. Fisherman Rudy Santara went out hoping to catch what locals described as a giant shark, but instead he came across something that chilled him. A smooth black shape moved beneath the water, and then a radiant head surfaced with red eyes and a mouth glowing orange like burning coals. Shaken, Rudy captured only a few seconds of video before escaping. Some scientists argued it might be a deep-sea bioluminescent animal, but locals insist otherwise. They claim Rudy encountered the Larantuka sea demon, a being said to appear only when the ocean is on the verge of unleashing its fury. In December 2013, the Andril project drilled through nearly 980 feet of ice in the Ross Sea, Antarctica. When their camera was lowered, the team expected to find nothing but frozen sediment. Instead, they saw hundreds of milky white organisms hanging upside down, attached to the underside of the ice, forming what looked like a floating forest of living bodies. The species was identified as Edward Ciela, undrilla. The Antarctic sea anemone. What shocked researchers was how its entire biology defied known rules. It receives no sunlight, has no symbiotic algae, and shows no obvious food source, yet in -2 degrees Celsius, seawater where salt water is nearly solid, they still moved. Stretched and reproduced, scientists cannot explain how they obtain energy. One theory suggests they absorb nutrients, drifting through microbial streams, but no study has confirmed it. Their existence raises a chilling question. Does life actually require warmth and light to begin at all? You may think the world's largest shark is the great white, but you might want to reconsider at a depth of 1,732 feet beneath the waters of the Bahamas. Two researchers were filming when a massive silhouette drifted past their submersible. At first they assumed it was a 6-gill shark feeding on a carcass until the creature turned. This time, it faced them head-on. Its head was wide and heavy, its eyes dark and empty, and its teeth were the size of a grown man's fist, all glowing under the faint lights of the sub. "It's longer than the submarine," one of them exclaimed. The cabin fell silent as everyone realized they were looking at an ancient predator thought to have disappeared millions of years ago. They hoped to attach a tracking device, but how could they when the animal in front of them was large enough to swallow the entire vessel in a single bite? No one on the expedition expected to witness anything like this nearly 1,000 meters beneath the Antarctic ice, where sunlight never reaches. The submersible's camera recorded a translucent shape drifting in the darkness. At first, the team assumed it was a large plastic sheet caught in the currents, but then the film revealed the form slowly pulsing, expanding and shrinking as though it were breathing. This was Deep Staria enigmatica, a massive deep-sea jellyfish. So uncommon that only a handful of experts have ever observed one alive. It has no tentacles, no skeleton, no eyes, and no solid structure, only a thin, transparent membrane, delicate enough for light to shine through, yet strong enough to survive the crushing pressure of the deep ocean. What astonished the researchers most was its method of hunting. Rather than attacking, Deep Staria waits. When a small fish or crustacean drifts close, it opens its entire body like a giant pouch, engulfs the prey, and closes gradually. The whole event unfolds in absolute silence. The only proof of movement is the camera's light revealing red vein-like patterns inside, beating like the pulse of something otherworldly. In one starfish collected near the Ross Sea, Chilean researchers uncovered something deeply unsettling. Inside its organs were tiny moving filaments, and under the microscope they revealed themselves as complete organisms with their own hearts, vessels, and reproductive structures. The parasite known as Dendrogaster antarctica invades a starfish, burrows into its organs, and grows its full body within the host. When the starfish feeds, the parasite absorbs every nutrient, slowly weakening it without killing it. Because the host must stay alive long enough for the parasite to release its eggs, marine biologists consider this one of the most efficient parasitic systems on Earth, a creature so small yet capable of manipulating its host's biological rhythm. In the polar world, where survival is delicate, even cruelty becomes a tool for life to endure. This may be the most unbelievable moment in the entire video. In July 2024, off the coast of the Coral Sea, marine specialists were called to inspect a damaged pier. Part of the structure looked as if something enormous had bitten straight through it. Thick wooden beams were crushed, as though massive jaws had clamped down when divers went beneath the surface. What they saw stunned them. A shattered plank was slowly being pushed upward from below. They immediately called for backup and continued farther down. Then they saw it, a gigantic dorsal fin rising from the deep, as tall as a ship's mast. The creature had to be nearly 70 feet long, far too large to match any known shark. One researcher whispered that if it was a Megalodon, it had never gone extinct. Realizing the danger, they attempted to retreat. But before they could move, the surface of the water suddenly began to churn violently. Soon after, another video appeared from Florida, reigniting fears of strange creatures hiding beneath the water. Fisherman Raymond Cole was out on the CM River when he noticed a massive dark shape moving below the surface. He pulled out his phone to record, and at that moment the creature's tail rose into view. What shocked him was that it wasn't a normal tail. The end split into 3 pointed tips, twisting smoothly through the current. Raymond believed he had captured proof of the legendary Trident tail monster. But when he showed the clip to other fishermen, they argued it was only a large fish whose tail had been damaged by a propeller. Yet could an injury create something that perfect? The question spread quickly online, leaving people divided. Was this an unknown creature or simply an illusion beneath the waves? Now let's head to the Barents Sea, where endless gray waves rise and fall, and a crew of Norwegian fishermen hauled up something that made their blood run cold from the steel net. A massive creature nearly 33 feet long began to surface, its black skin gleaming like spilled oil, its smooth body coiled tightly, as if made of living metal. The head was broad and heavy, the eyes dark and empty, and when its jaws opened, rows of sharp white teeth shimmered faintly through the fog. No one dared move. One of the men muttered, "It's still alive." And in that instant, they all realized they were staring at something that didn't seem to belong on this earth. Local fishermen believed it was a descendant of Leviathan, the sea beast described in scripture as the devourer of the depths, but the most unsettling part came afterward, only hours after the footage spread online. The creature disappeared without a trace, as if the sea itself had reclaimed it. That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.